Hello, good evening and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Souttar, on the show this evening is the one and only Southside and the legend. That's the Bridgeman. Evening, boys.
Evening, Ox. Good evening, Bridge. Good to be on the Bridge tonight. Good evening, everyone listening this evening. All the trips on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. And good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Yeah, can I just say a big good evening to yourself, Oxchair, and the Southside, and of course the Teggy boys in the background. And all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Yes. I've been looking into some statistics, Southside, yeah. I just want your point of view, yeah. 18 teams selected this season. You've managed to get 7 winners. I just feel that your stats are appalling, mate. What have you got to say, mate? Our stats don't tell the full story.
The full story is I've only done one. How many have you done?
This
now.
is Southside Super Six.
I know, but Southside hasn't really been available. Now you're trying to mock me in front of the punters out there. That's what you're trying to do, Bridgeman. You're listening to this stuff here.
Oh, that's a shocker. He's a shocker.
So
yes.
Are you saying that the stats lie? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm just saying that whoever done last week's obviously didn't make it, but they put my name forward. I dare say I would have took the credit if it came in, but I didn't have a good feeling about it when I heard what you said done.
No,
so
you're the shocker.
I see. He wants the credit when it wins and doesn't when it wasn't. Well, if you're not available for your work, other people are going to jump on. This week was close, but no cigar. In fact, it was quite a poor effort, if I'm honest, Outside.
Yeah, he was close, wasn't he? He was close. Didn't get there, but it's not as easy as people think.
50%. Yes. Anyway, just try to lighten the mood, mate. Lighten the mood. Right.
Why no?
Right, okay. Right. Southside. Same question to Bridge, mate. I'm not going to ask you to dissect the game. We'll come to that in a second, mate. We've done it yesterday, well, but I'll get your thoughts on it. Just how you're feeling and what your thoughts are. Southside first.
A bit frustrated, to be honest, with the whole team thing, the way we're playing, performance. But it's still early days. He's still not got all his players. He's still relying on players that were there. Some obviously seemingly are not all in, but it sounds it. I've questioned their ability and their desire and stuff. I think it's not an easy it should be an easy system to play the way he talks about it, but we've got teething problems. He swapped players about with Adairins at left back instead of playing at right back, and some of his performances at right back haven't been very good of late either. But they're still trying to settle in. We've played 3 league games. And also a cup game in the European games, and by all accounts a lot of people thought we wouldn't even get by the first round in Europe, and we managed to get through it, and then we progressed into the next one. But loads of question marks about things at the moment, but you've still got to take time to gel a team together. Whether it comes to fruition or no, we'll find out in time, but at times only been a matter of 7 or 8 weeks in the door with a lot of the players. Some aren't even up to full fitness yet. Asgard, for one, who were brought in and hoping that he will produce something in time and be a good player. Plays a couple of bit part games and then starts as a striker when we know he's not a striker. So teething problems, and certainly a lot of teething problems that need to be fixed, and some players that were bought in at the moment aren't hitting the ground running either. And look a wee bit off the pace. But that is what it is at the moment, Ox, and we are where we are.
Aye. Listen, you're honest. I think we're leaderless, clueless, lack of tactics, shape, desire. Some of our players don't look fit. Every aspect of what you're looking for, there's nothing there. Apart from I can play the goalkeeper, and you've got a thought on that for yesterday, but we'll come to that south side. Yeah, every department has got worse. Not one department of the team looks better. Now I know we've had to play a lot of games early. That's what happens. I mean, we played our 9th game, and if you take an EPL team, they've just played 2, and they're starting their Carabao Cup this week. So there's a big difference, but we know these things, so you've got to be at different levels at different times. And we can't put it down to rustiness, Bridgman. That was our 9th game yesterday.
No excuses. No, for me anyway, no excuses about any of it. I think that we've shown in the 3 league games we've played. Well, we've got the 3-1-1 draws, put it that way, were just dreadful. Just a dreadful team. And we've been beaten tactically, we've been beaten fitness-wise, we've been beaten coach-wise, you name it, we've been beaten. And general play, very, very poor compared to these. Now, I'm not saying that these guys are absolutely brilliant. I'm not saying they're absolutely rotten. But Motherwell, Dundee, and St Mirren, they're not too bad at teams, But my goodness, the difference was just glaring for everybody the weekend, just glaring. When we got the ball, we're back to the same old problem. When we get the ball and we move up with it, then it looks good. But unfortunately, we give the ball away. And really and truly, from a whole club perspective, the club's rudderless, leaderless and rudderless. I don't know what that manager's doing, and so I'm not going to try and big downer on too much. But seriously, I just wonder what on earth's going to happen next. I just don't know. I don't know. And I know you guys have been following Rangers for a long, long time as well. And this is depressing. What's happening? Depressing.
We've went for a soap opera to a pantomime, if that makes any sense outside.
Aye, we've not hit the ground running the way we thought we would. And everybody's having a go, right? And rightly so. And we haven't hit the ground running. But like you say, it's hard to pick out what we're good at the moment. And the only thing I've seen we're good at is leaking goals. So I've not seen many patterns of play and stuff like that. But he's got to get a settled team, and he's got to get the team on the park. Players have to take responsibility out there as well when they're on the park. Certain goals that we've lost, it's not down to the manager, it's down to the players. It's the players on the park that have cost the goal. They're not marking up. You can see guys standing at the edge of the box. Yesterday they were doing it. St Mirren had a player at the edge of the box, 18-yard box, unmarked, 3 times at a corner. Nobody thought of getting out and marking him. I was thinking, well, he's free out there. I need to go out there. I know I might be standing here, but unless we get rid of the zonal, because the zonal always has his players across the 6-yard box, so there's always going to be a player free somewhere at some point. But we look small as a team in a unit. Even at corner kicks yesterday, we were small in that box. The physicality of St Mirren was a lot more players. They played their style of football and tried to play to our weakness, probably by being physical on us. But they weren't a good team. St Mirren weren't a good team yesterday. We lost a shot on goal while we were up the park trying to play a ball through to Rothwell, which might have created something, and it gets knocked, and within two passes they're through in our goal. So self-inflicted yesterday when we go 1-0 down, because technically we could have been 1 up if Cameron scores earlier than it is before they go up the park and score, and goals change games obviously.
Aye, listen, I get all that, and you can dissect every goal. There's a mistake in it. I don't know if it was a loose pass by the gas man, and then the boy sort of hoofs it, gets to the ball in midfield. From his point of view, he's played a decent pass bridge to put his mate through, isn't he?
Any ball through our middle at the moment with a bit of pace in it, they're knackered. St Mirren, their players fought for everything, ran for everything. Our boys didn't. I think that's, to put it in a nutshell, the ones at the back just couldn't. They couldn't match the attacking players for pace. We caught it a number of times, and I thought St Mirren, actually, they could have scored. I would suggest that they could have scored 5 goals yesterday, but I'm afraid that we never looked as if, although their goalkeeper looked brilliant with some of the saves he made, you know, it looked really good. And I think our goalkeeper pulled off a few good saves as well. But I'm not being funny when I say it. It's really, really dire. Really dire. It's really disappointing. There's guys going away to St Mirren. I don't know how many you get in that stand. It's mob. How many went there? So maybe 5,000-6,000 Rangers fans in that stadium. Maybe slightly less. But my God, they're following the team as they normally do, and they're getting treated like that. With the games we play like that, plays poor. That's what I say. It's my eyes that are seeing it, and I dare say everybody sees things slightly differently. But I just see very, very poor play, very, very unfit players, in my opinion. Very unfit. That old boy was the guy at the back for St Mirren yesterday. Oh, Gogic, he just leaned against people, pushed people. You know, because he's a very experienced player, and he's up against, to all intents and purposes, youngsters, and he just pull them down, slap them behind the ear, and all that nonsense that goes on. And he would do that, and he got away with it. Not saying it was bad, dirty fouls or anything like that, but I don't like the guy. I don't like the way he plays, but I don't like the way we play either. We're just dreadful.
I can't believe you don't like a physical football player, Bridge.
No, on football, yeah, but seriously, you know, look, it's like all the other guys that are, you could call them bullies, yeah, because it happens all during the game. The snidey wee blocks, you know, and the elbow coming out into the side. These kind of things are going on, and I don't go for that. The very physical game, football's a very physical game when you want it to be, but no like that. I disagree with that that guy playing, but I'll give him his due. He never hardly lost the ball, and he won virtually every tackle in for. So we didn't do that.
No, we're not a physical team, and you know, some of the statements we've heard about we'll run the legs off of teams. We're not seeing that in the other south side, and that's how sometimes you've got to learn to keep your mouth shut.
Well, he's telling you that. People ask him what sort of style of football you're going to play, what is your team going to look like, and he's trying to answer a question. My team will run faster, they'll run longer, they'll do this, they'll do that, and up to now, other teams have looked like they've run harder and faster than the players that we've put on the park at the time. Now, whether that's slow build-up, I mean, the build-up's not so quick at times and all that, but I think there's players in there that he wants to move on. I think there's players in there that might want to move on. And I think until all this gets settled at the end of the transfer window, and hopefully we can bring some players in, the players that he brings in, I imagine, will work to his instruction. The players that are in there before him should work to instruction. Some might be, and it's just no gelling and clicking. And there's other ones that might just think, nah. So until the end of the transfer window comes in, then we'll know. I heard his interview and I've heard what he said after the game. So maybe somebody like Bezrami, who he's dropped, who I thought might work in one of his sort of systems and team. Thought Bezrami might come in and do a job, and he might be good in a sort of system that he wants to play. But he's not really took him out the European squad, and then he's dropped him out the squad for Sunday. So it might be one of them that he's talking about. Connor Barron could be another who's not really featuring at all. But if you ask me now, would I rather have Connor Barron in there or Jack Rothwell at the moment? I mean, for me, I'd say Connor Barron, although he's limited in certain things, I think he would show you a lot more endeavour, heart and desire and a bit of tackling. Rothwell looked as if he wasn't at the races on Sunday again. But he's brought him in, whether he works out or no. We always say we're waiting until the signing's played a good number of games, then you can judge him. But at the moment, he looks miles off it in my eyes. At the moment, whether he can play with Raskin or no as well, I don't know. At the moment, I don't think so. But maybe if Rothwell ups his game and does what he's supposed to do, and what the manager and the coaching staff and whoever brought him in believes he's got qualities, and start to show it, it might differ. But at the moment, he's really poor. But I think Conor Barron could be one that could be exiting, maybe on loan or something as well. If he's not going to feature in the squads and that and be anywhere near it, we've got to start moving players out to make room for other players. And we've got plenty sitting there that have been nowhere near the first team that all need to go and all. So,
listen, if I was Bill Jamie, mate, I would say, listen, you don't fancy me, I'll look for a move, mate. I have no problem with that. That's football, eh?
Aye, it is. I thought he might have played in this sort of style of football that he wants to play. I think Bajrami's an intelligent football player. I think he's got something about him, but he's no done enough in a jersey. He's played better out on the left at times when he was playing wide left. But I thought he would have been a player that he might have kept and used because he is an intelligent football player. He's got a bit about him. But he's not done enough in the Rangers jersey, and now he's omitted out the European squad and he's out the team for Sunday. So he did say, like, there might be players who haven't been in the squads that might think I might be looking elsewhere. So I'd imagine that'll be the case. You can probably find the Kieran Dells in there, the Davises, Matondos and everybody else who we spoke about, ones that be expected to go.
Davis is away, isn't he?
He went, did he go on loan, did he?
That's him. Years loan, mate. So
well, fair enough. It's another one out the door. But he needs to settle down and he has to have players that come the end of this window that are all in for this football club, because although we've got no proof yet, we've watched players down tools on umpteen managers that we've had in the past, and it's easy today are going and hide beside players and no look for the ball. They done that when we went 2-0 down against Bruce last week at Ibrox. I looked at the midfield. Nobody was really wanting the ball shown for it. Everybody was hiding for that wee spell. Because
playing devil's advocate, mate, there was 8 new starters in that team yesterday.
Aye, I know, but it's still no good enough. It's still no. We need to get a full. He needs to get a full squad of players. If he's going to stay and they believe he's the right guy to go forward, he has to get at least a squad of 14 players of his own that'll run for him, trust him, and work to instruction. And if it doesn't work out, but we need to get a better calibre of player, I think, because I think some of the signings now are a wee bit struggling, but they might take time to settle and they might come good. But there's one or two of them now, certainly Rothwell and Aarons for a start, that haven't just settled as well as I thought they would. Aarons was a different player. I watched at Bournemouth when he was a flying winger, doing overlapping and stuff. But I thought he'd have put tackles in. I thought he'd have been a bit stronger on the ball. He's a point, but it doesn't mean to say he'll not become a decent player in time. It's still early doors. They're still trying to break in. The team's struggling at times. They're leaking goals. We're probably low in confidence. So all that's no helping probably a lot of the players that are in the team.
Frenchman, your take on it?
Oh, God. I was listening to South say there, and the words he's saying is absolutely true. I don't know how far he wants to go with tonight on the sort of complaining type thing. I don't really want to.
I don't want to be Roy Walker and say what you say, but say what you feel, mate.
No. I'm just saying it. I think it's deplorable what's happening to our team. Absolutely deplorable. From the top, there's something not right in the top because they're seeing it as well. They're going to the game every week. The top men are there every week. They're seeing it. There's something happening, and there's a break. To me, there's a breakdown, and maybe deliberate. Maybe there's a deliberate breakdown of communication between the top and the manager. But the manager got a huge gap between based on what the interviews you have, what you hear him. There's a massive difference in, shall we say, his thoughts of what the game should be and what the players think. So I know that you're saying some of the players look as if sometimes they look as if they're thrown in the towel, but seriously, there's something no right. I've very rarely ever seen anything like this at Ibrox. I've never seen it. The manager's coming in, and when he tells us after the match, there's probably the same speech, a slight difference, here or there, but virtually the same words are getting used all the time. And I tell you what, I don't know this, but I bet you and you like, if you could look back and listen to some of his interviews with the previous clubs he's mentioned it of a similar vein. And through the thread going through it all is the players aren't doing what I'm telling you, that I'm telling them. That's what I'm picking up. So I might be wrong. I do apologise, guys.
You're right, mate. Some of that stuff started appearing online, mate. Some of his interviews, and people have looked at some of the things he said that his previous club, particularly Southampton, and it's like it's the same script, mate. Look, I don't disagree with a lot of the stuff that my mates Southside says. We're in a good place, man. Low confidence. If that wasn't my club and I took the emotions out, what I suggest that new players, old players, medium-term players, loan players, the dressing room's gone, mate. Now, wherever it's gone, because they fell out or the manager's lost the dressing room, I don't know. That's my take on it, Southside. I've nothing to back that up apart from my gut and a small bit of experience.
Well, you know what? How many managers have we been through in the last 10 years, even in the job? We've done 9. Round about 9 probably since Warburton. Round about that, Power's been 9 people in charge of your club, because we get down this syndrome and this road where, do you know what? We're behind that mob again across the city, so we better sack the manager. We're behind them again, we better sack the manager. Because this is where it's coming down to. You know, aye, we've started bad. Aye, it's no good enough. Did we expect a lot better? Aye, did I expect to have 9 points after 3 games? Aye, I did. And we haven't, we've got 3. So what do we do? Are we just going to sack the manager? Is that the cry for it? Because that seems to be the cry for everybody in the house. Okay, we sack the manager. Who are we getting next?
That's a big question, mate.
Right, so then it'll be, well, we need to get Stevie G back because he's the guy. Right, I would have liked him and all. I know we went and spoke to Stevie G, right? Everybody knows we did, but he turned it down for whatever reason. Russell Martin got the job. They went through hundreds of managers apparently, or at least done 5, 6, 8, 10 managers, whatever, maybe more. He'd been linked with everybody, but I'm dare say they went through a good few managers to interview, and they picked him. So we need to just settle down and see where we go. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to get it right or no, but my head's telling me we can't just sack him at the end of this month. That's no going to make any difference.
Funny enough, my heart's telling me that, my head's telling me different, mate.
Listen, listen, I spoke to all the boys at the game on Sunday. We were there, we spoke at half time, and we were thinking we're not creating enough chances, we're not doing this, we're not doing that. I get it all. I watch it every week, I'm seeing it. But you can't just sack your manager at the end of the month. If that's the way we want to go, that's the way the support will go. Well, we've done it with team managers, and where are we? We're still back to where we were for the last number of years.
I get that, but 2 rights don't make it wrong, and 10 wrongs don't make it right. It might be a right call this time. That's the difficult dilemma we're in, Bridgeman.
Well, look, I'm not being funny when I say, once again, I'm not being funny, but I've been sitting on that Copeland, you hear a whole load of things. But the truth of the matter is that the fans are starting to disbelieve, right? And they're wondering what's going to happen next. And I'm using myself as a prime example of an ordinary fan. I don't go to away games like Southside, who travels all over Europe and everything. So and well done to him and the rest of the guys. I want to go and see my team playing football, but we're not seeing that. You get maybe 60% of a game where Rangers players are actually playing football, and the other times they're fumbling, losing the ball, so on and so forth. But there's something not right, because Rangers are sitting at 7th in the league after 3 games. 7th in the league.
And the fixtures have been kind to his, Bridge.
Exactly. We're now coming up to big bridges to cross in the next few league games. I tell you, if we don't, now I'm not being funny when I say if we don't, there's going to be hell to pay. If we don't win some of the games in the next, well, not in the next 3 weeks, but let's say over 4 weeks, the next 3 league games, we are in big trouble. We're in big trouble. I'm thinking right now that we are going to struggle to get back into the top 6. That's what I'm saying. We'll struggle to get back into the top 6, probably for the rest of the season, because the other teams are watching us. There's 3 teams that we've played, and they don't fear us. When none of it. The last 5 minutes of the game yesterday with Rangers, they were pressure, and that's what the Rangers fans want to see: pressure, chances, have a go. And admittedly, their goalkeeper has some tremendous saves, but that's what we need to do all the time, not the last 5 minutes of a game. So I'm not going to rant on too much, but we're 7th in the league, and that is unbelievable and unacceptable for Rangers team. Unacceptable.
Aye. Well, people will have their views. I mean, I thought about it, and I do accept the rationale of it. We've maybe made mistakes getting rid of managers. One left, yeah, and since we started the club out, listen, between 2015 and 2018, when Kachina came in and then we got Warburton, who did give us a lift. Bridge loved his song, didn't you, Bridge? You loved it.
Oh, aye, I liked him.
He came in and he started well, and then he got up to it. And then he tried to take steps with bringing players in who had no legs in their team. And I see similarities with the recruitment again. This time around, Cranchia. Yeah. He was a fantastic football player. Rang side of 30, no legs. Rothwell. Good pedigree, allegedly. Never seen him, I wouldn't know him. Watch him now. He can't run. We've signed another player who can't run in the engine room of our team. It beggars belief. When we brought him in, I thought we needed somebody experienced in there. Work for us, yeah. I think he's played 8 games for us, mate. He's done one slalom run against, I can't remember who that was against. Actually, Dundee.
Dundee,
Aye, Dundee. He's played a couple of nice passes, spread the ball about a bits and pieces. Don't think he's made a chance. Hit the post with a decent free kick. His corners are an improvement. We're told he was a dead ball specialist. But it's no everything's due to him. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just using that as an example. And we're underwhelmed. And I've thought about it long and hard, Southside. And I do accept your argument, but I would twist, mate. Because unless there's something going on and there's going to be 5, 6, 7 bodies disappear quickly, and bodies are going to come in and we end up with a new team, and then we see where we're gone, I would twist. I just think the department's improved, but apart from the goalkeeper, maybe because he's getting a lot of practice, for defence, the shape it's a shambles, individual errors, and some of that's due to the tactics. The midfield. There's no midfield. There's absolutely no midfield the way we play. It was done by Stephen Warnock in the Champions League highlights show. Watch it if you get the chance. He talks about the way we play, and he picks up the exact same things we've witnessed. And the forwards, well, maybe you can't blame the forwards, because if you don't get the ball up the park, they'll do anything. Because we take that long to get the ball up the park. We've got a lot of possession, but nothing up front. Nothing. And yesterday's experiment, playing that boy through the middle, I just don't know, mate. I don't know. You can tell that boy can't play with his back to goal. You know that within 2 minutes, didn't you?
Exactly, yeah.
He looked uncomfortable a bit up there, aye. I'll give you that. I thought if he could get the ball up to him, wide positions, or get my ball 1-on-1, maybe run at a player, he might just go by him and get a shot off at goal. But it didn't, because we were struggling at times to get the ball up. I mean, we had a lot of possession. We created a couple of chances, but it was nothing like we should be going to St Mirren and be scoring early or peppering their goal 17 times in the first half. I think it took us to 60 odd minutes, nearly 70 minutes to get a first corner. No,
I mean, Cameron should have scored, mate. Young Cameron could have.
Aye, he was busy. Diamandi's no kicked a ball, right? He's no, and I liked him in Europe for his that, and he had no bad some league games, but on the whole in Europe he used to break up play, go on the ball, get fouled quite a lot and stuff. He's done nothing like that since he went in. Now he's playing on the right hand side when he's come in and no the left. I don't know if that's an issue. I don't know. He doesn't look comfortable there. Rothwell, I agree. He's no kicked on. He looks as if he still needs to get a lot more fitness, a lot more games. I don't know. He's just no cutting the mustard now for me. But it's not to say he'll no kick on in time, but it could be a signing that we've made and it might not work out. We've seen it happen to many managers in the past. We'll sign players, some will work out and some won't. But at the moment, he was definitely, I would have had him off at half time. No, we spoke about it and said, Rothwell, just take him off and we'll get a forward on, thinking maybe Hamza might come on and maybe get 45 minutes into his legs, do you know what I mean? But he took Ant-Man off and they were doubling and trebling up on him at times when he got the ball earlier on the right-hand side, same as we're doubling up, plus we're taking kicks at the gas man for the first 15 minutes of the game, and Mr. Walsh decided just to have a chat to the players, you know. So he was getting heavy treatment in the first half. But it's not good enough. We're not creating enough chances. We're no pep on the goal. And it has to get sorted. Otherwise, we'll maybe just keep getting results like we're getting, and it's not good enough. But I'm no saying, I just not got it in my head now. Ox, I respect your decision. I respect your opinion and all that. As you know, that's what it's about, coming on here, get your opinion. You want to sack him, fine. I just think, okay, if we sack him, we're back to square one again, and we're relying on them to go and get the right guy the next time. And he'll have to work with a lot of these players and any more that he brings in, should he get sacked the next, say, month or something, if things don't really improve and the board decide to pull the trigger. That'll be up to them, and then they can come out and apologise to us as a support and say, sorry, we got it wrong, we apologise, it's your fault, it's on me, but we'll sort it. And then we'll have to wait till see who comes in, and then what type of style he's going to play, and what type of players he wants.
I know you're ripping off starting again. I get all that. I get the rationale and the sense of it. I just think this is a toxic mix, mate. And the more I think about it, I think he's lost the support, which, look, as Albert said, maybe you support soon to make business decisions, and I get that. But this will come down to finance, mate. And if he doesn't improve this, yeah, he's done all right. He's got his through to Europe, and that could have went banana skin. We could easily get put out against Panathinaikos and then be sitting out of Europe completely. And then you lost all that revenue, mate, which is approximately 20 million, yeah. So I get all that. So I understand that from a board point of view. But now that we're by that, mate, and if this doesn't go or start getting better, mate, millions are going to disappear. Yeah, you've got the season tickets in and people have bought it, but then everything's going to fall away, mate, and it's going to be quick.
Well, what is going to fall away? What is really going to fall away? How do you think it'll really fall away? People's purchasing power and what they buy, you know, and the interest and the So you're pissed off for the team, but you're hungry and you're at Ibrox and you don't want to buy a pie. Is that what you're telling me? You'll not buy a pie because you're pissed off for the team, but you're really hungry. They'll no be there to buy a pie, Sonny. You know that. I know that's outside, yeah. Aye, well, some people might want to do that. That's up to them. That is their choice and their opinion. If they don't want to go, that's fine with me. But I don't support the manager. I don't support the director. I support the club. The VAR came and went in my eyes, and I just feel as if I don't like what I'm watching now. Of course I don't. I want it to be a lot better. And how long? He says he'll get it right. He says he'll get it right. So, but you want to pull the trigger by September? No, yeah. Everybody wanted to come on out the door not long ago, and Barry was coming back because Ibrox was toxic, and Barry will bring the feel-good factor back and make it worse. Apart from a result here or there. And we've actually got worse. We've actually even worse, mate. We've actually at the moment it's no gelling, and we need to get better players in the door. But that's just my opinion. And when do you pull the plug? Well, that'll be down to the results will dictate that. Winter results, but I'm not having it that Ibrox will be half full like every other week now going forward. I'm not having that argument with you because that will not happen. And people will buy what they'll buy at Ibrox. People will still take up. There was 7,000. I know. At the qualifier against Bruges, a massive game because of how flat it is already. Now, I think the part of the problem the guys got is, mate, and I wasn't in this camp. People didn't want them there. People who pay the piper call the tune, they gave them a job, right? That's their job today. If it doesn't work out, it's on some of them. But the vast majority of people, that wasn't their choice. It wasn't my choice, but who was? Who was our choice? Realistic choice. We couldn't come up with some pipe dreams, or maybe people weren't interested. Bridge nailed his colours to the mast early on. Yeah, that's only because he's got that tattoo signed he wants to wear his shorts again, know what I mean? But I just don't see this ending any other way, and I think you're better getting it sooner rather than later. At the moment, what we're seeing is inevitable. Bridgeman.
Well, yeah, I'm the same camp to a certain extent as Southside in general. Great admiration for the support. I always thought Rangers support best in the world, without a doubt. But in the last few weeks there, I think the European game but I think you just said that there, Oxshare. Something like somewhere around about 7,000 never turned up, never went to buy a ticket. A lot of tickets going, and that's no good for Rangers in a European game midweek. There might have been something in that with that figure, something like UEFA demanded 5,000 seats or something like that. That's possible, but I don't think that was it. No, as I'm saying, you might find some, but I don't think so. However, for 7,000 Rangers fans not to come to the game, for want of a better.
We sent AK along. He took up four seats outside, didn't he?
Yeah. It's just kind of crazy when it comes down to that. When you see it in black and white as to what we've done and what that. I watched in particular. I watched with great pride. I watched them. That boy was a left back, Jones, somebody Jones. Their left back. We used to play for us. Declan Jones. And I thought he had a fantastic game against us. Brilliant game. And our right side was pretty poor, right? But our left side was very good. Once again, the young left back who's starting to find
assaulted, mate. Constant, and they were getting assaulted.
Oh yeah, big tall players. It's stuff that we've said. A number of us have said this. I'm sure a couple of years ago I was shouting and bawling we shouldn't be signing anybody under 6 feet unless they're what do you call them, Lionel Messi or something like that, So they're big fellas, and they're just easy to pull, easy to push you around. And when you see it, corner kicks and free kicks, what our half decent players are up against, trying to mark these guys, they're not going to beat them they're not going to beat them and jump for the ball. And they're big. When they're bigger they are, the heavier they are, and really difficult to move. And all these things. It's physics, isn't it? I just say it once again. I just want Rangers to do it right.
We all want the same thing. We want our team
absolutely,
to win.
Absolutely. Oh yes.
Team to win, Right, so we'll turn away from that because that is the main talking point. We'll quickly look at the game. We huffed and puffed. They were direct. Would that be fair, Southside? They were the way they played direct. Two big boys up front. They were worrying our centre half and fullbacks because they were trying to play inside and outside the two centre halves. Yeah, which I would do as well because then all of a sudden you're opening up big spaces because they play very narrow, and obviously we try and push the fullbacks on. So one ball beats us all the time when we push so high. And that's the problem when you play like that. One ball and you're gambling all the time, and unless you drop back, you keep dropping back. That's the way the manager wants to play. So we should have scored Lyle Cameron. I wish he'd got the goal because I think he'd have done him in the world a good. And by the way, the boy, like the rest of the team yesterday, wasn't outstanding, but what I will say is the effort he put in was superb. Our best player, I thought, was Gasserman at times in the first half. And then in the second half, up until the last few minutes, Southside, obviously they got the goal, as we said. The second half, we went more positives. And we did look as if we were going to go in and win the game. But we still look as if we could lose a goal at any time. And also, the way we set up for set pieces, we're that high. We're just inviting trouble. And that's the coaching staff. We lost a goal against Dundee. And they could have got the winner, Gogic with Ida. Another good save with Jack Butland. And that gave him 6 out of 10 for me. But you'd have thought on him for the goal yesterday. But the rest of them, I didn't give one of your players pass marks yesterday. Not one outfield player pass marks, apart from young Finlay Curtis, because he came on and got the goal. And I thought the best player when he was on the park, not the best player, but took us up the park now, was James Tavernier, bizarrely. And we all know Tav's legs have gone. It was an improvement in what we were watching. It's mental. No, that's just a quick sum up. So you have your take on it. And I want to hear your take on the goal as well.
I thought Gasman looked busy. I thought if anything was going to come, it might have came for him. Ant-Man, apart from coming inside and getting a shot off, he hit the target, but it was a save for the cameras for the goalkeeper. That was about the only thing that he sort of done of any note. They did double up on him at times and even trebled up on him at times, and it wasn't really working for him down there. So I thought Gasman on the other side, Gasmara, would have been the outlet for us. Left back was getting done as well, Mahoma. He was coming down the line and putting somebody put the cross in for Lyle Cameron. It might have scored, and it would have been good to score at that time. But St Mirren played the usual tactic. They tried to play the long ball, high ball, physicality, maybe pick up the second ball. I thought Fernandez dealt with him pretty well. Thought he won a lot of his headers. But a couple of times they got the break of the ball and they had a couple of wee off chances. As for the goal, I was behind it at the time, and I know the boy takes it wide. When Jack Butland comes out, I'm thinking he's going to put his horn up to the left because the boy's going to shoot. He's either going to play it low or he's going to go high, and he doesn't lift his arm up at all. And I've watched it back, and I'm thinking, surely you either pick your arm up and try to box something here. It was as if he slides out and then he just pulls his arm back, and the boys just scored. That's just my opinion of the goalkeeper. Maybe I'm just used to seeing maybe McGregor and Gorham and all the rest of them come out with that. Kloss might have just come out and spread themselves. I don't know, but I just thought he could maybe have done better and probably got his arm out or his body across or something to try and block it, even if he took it in the face, whatever. Any part of your body, I just thought he was poor at that. Although the boy took it slightly wide, I still thought he could have made a better effort, in my opinion. Bad goal to lose, obviously. Bridge talks about having 6'5" defenders. We've got one in the park and the ball's played along the ground in between them. And Souttar's not quick enough to get back and close them down. Big gaping hole is normal. Finlay Curtis done well when he came on, obviously. Even when we score, we played a nice wee bit of football. About 3 or 4 passes, he got laid out to him, he smashed it first time, and the goalie palmed it out of the bar. That was about the only sort of flash in the game where we played quick football, one-touch football, and we actually looked like we could open them up just after we'd scored. Apart from that, it was flat, and at full time, you knew it was coming for the support, because again, we've come away from St Mirren, Dundee and Motherwell, and it's 3 draws, and it's just not good enough, folks.
Aye, I think we all know that, but I'll try to come up with reasons if we're honest, but parties were struggling because we can't put our finger on it. That's the truth, mate, because you're looking for
Mikey Moore come on, and he didn't really do much. I know he's a young boy, but he's got ability and he's got good feet and he's clever. But he get knocked off a couple of times. He chased the ball and he just get moved out the road. Get a wee shooter and he was out the road. Physicality again. But I was disappointed when he came on that he didn't get at the defender enough times. We bring him on hoping that he'll create something. So I was disappointed in him. I thought Danilo came on, worked hard, made runs, but final passes into him weren't there. Held the ball in once or twice, knocked it wide. He ran about, looked busy, but he just didn't get a chance like in front of goal or get anything laid on a plate to him. It was left to young Finlay to take a shot at goal like he did, and it managed to go in the back of the net for us. So on the subs that he brought on, there wasn't, apart from Finlay Curtis coming on, Diamande I don't think made much of a difference either when he came on, to be honest. I think he's struggling badly as well. I don't know if maybe he thinks maybe it's just the position he's in or what. I don't know if there's maybe he'd been turned, he might be one that'll leave. I don't know. But his form's been really bad and he's been a mainstay of our team and he's been there and he knows what it's about. And his form's poor. Raskin was no bad. I think when he get booked, it curtails his aggression and what he can do. Because he was booked after his second foul, a wee tug round the waist and O'Hara fell down. And Walsh couldn't wait to book him. So that sort of curtailed him, and Rothwell, as we spoke about, looks like he's struggling a bit out there. So midfield-wise, they've got to be working to get passes out to the wingers and get into the game and look to get fed after defenders when they've got the ball. Got to be in space to get it and receive it. And at the moment, we're struggling. So something has to change big style. It needs to start happening, obviously, for Wednesday and then Sunday and then carry it on.
Yeah, I think, you can have games of football, you can draw games of football, most games of football, and you've got issues, and you can be unlucky. And you're pounding their goal when they break away like that, 3 kicks up the park and they score a goal. But we're not pounding anybody's goal, Bridgman, Motherwell, Dundee, Alloa, or St Mirren, mate.
No, you're right. What we're doing is we're pounding the centre halves and the fullbacks. They're straight on a straight line. That's what it looks like they're doing. If in doubt, just hold the ball, possession football, and they're playing it all across the pitch. And then eventually come back and give it to the goalkeeper, who in turn pushes it up the pitch, and you hardly get past the halfway line. And when you do get past the halfway line, you need players like that Gassamy or whatever his name is. I think he's a gas man. I think he's a fantastic player. And the young boy at left will go to left back now. Brilliant. Great left side. I think our left side is the strongest or the best we've got. And they can move the ball up on the ground. Good passes. And obviously it's what get to the end. How do we do it? What's the end ball? But they've got a lot of crosses into the box. And you're back to the same thing. Realistically, you're crossing the ball into nobody. And the only time we've got people up there of any height, in reality, is when the centre halves are up. Other than that, it's just the ordinary guys that, if it's midfielders running through. I'm not saying that they can't hide the ball or anything like that, but they've not got the threat a centre half, a centre forward has. So if we've not got a genuine centre forward, when we're going to be in trouble. We're going to be in trouble. We saw that yesterday. There are lots of balls come in. Rangers had lots of possession. There are lots of good balls in. Created chances. Their goalkeeper, some absolutely out of this world saves. He had that one where he got his hand to the ball and pushed it past the post. Just wonderful. And
do you think the boy should have scored there? Do you think he should have scored?
Oh, I believe sincerely he should have scored. But I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt and saying that keeper made a wonderful save. But I don't think he actually connected with the ball right, to be honest.
No, he must have it. He must have it too.
Well, tell me the purpose. That's what I saw. Southside might have saw it different, but to me it was there. I think there was a couple of times like that where the ball was bouncing or it was running along the ground and we just didn't hit the ball. And a couple of them we did hit it and it was over the bar and things like that. And that goalkeeper, I'll say it again, I think he had a cracking game against Rangers. A cracking game. Right. So if we're looking for a goalkeeper, we'll get him.
I think he was at Livingston, wasn't he? Because we were deep in conversation, we forgot to open the phone line, so we better do.
Oh.
Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah. Listen, everything's fair, and I get it, and I get the rationale that Southside's using. I just maybe I've lost a bit of patience. I just don't. The more I hear Martin and the more I see him, the games he's playing, people are then coming with the Southampton thing. It's like deja vu when the wheels came off there, and then you're starting to hear interviews and saying that the players only running, they don't understand, and it's all for Southampton. It's like just what we're hearing this now. Yeah, and I just.
No, we heard that.
Well, I just don't see it ending well, mate. I really don't.
Listen, like I say, I'll be entitled to change my mind down the road.
So will I.
And so will you, right? So we're entitled to change our mind, right? But listen, we heard the stories as he got the job. So nothing's changed, right?
No.
And he got after a bad start at there, and then they went on a 20-odd game unbeaten run that took them into the playoffs, that got them up. And if they probably hadn't had the bad start, they might have actually scooshed the league, right? So eventually he got the players to work and they done what they done. He seemingly done well at Swansea, where he got the job at Southampton, playing the same style of football. Whether he bad spells there or whatever, I don't know, but he got the job. They've gave him the job, and it's easy to talk a good game because Cassina done it obviously to somebody in your board a while ago. Well, Dave King was still at the helm and all, and hoodwinked him, and we ended up with him, right? So, but I think we've just got to give it a bit of time. Just think sacking them now after 3 games in the league is just ludicrous. Especially when he's not even got all his own players in that he'll probably want to trust. Because there's players in there that probably maybe don't want to be there. Maybe 1 or 2 might not like him. Don't you like a manager to play for him? Because you should your pride in your professionalism should do it for you. But if you don't want to be here, then it's time to go. And there's players in there that obviously it's time for them to go, and we need to get rid. And he has to get players in that he signs that will work to the way he wants to play, and it will play the system for Thelwell and whoever it is that's looking at it in the stats, that we bring the players in, then they'll function in that unit, that what they're meant to do. And if they're better than what we've got to now, then it should work better. Because the players we've got to now aren't making it work.
And that's a quick question for you two guys, because you're the, shall we say, the wisest guys in this new station we've got here. That's a nice compliment. I mean it. A story, I think I read a wee story, I saw a snippet of some about Igamani yesterday, refusing to go in the park. And could you maybe, you were there, Southside, maybe you can enlighten us if you saw or heard anything about that.
Well, it was in his interview after the game, Bridge, he said that Igamani told him into an injury. So whether that's the old injury, you're not going on because I'm looking for a move, or he's got an injury. My gut, without knowing Igamani, is that he's chose not to go on. That's what it looks like, yeah, because rumour again and speculation has it that Lille came in with a bid. We don't know the details last year, but they wanted to take him on loan first, and that was dismissed by the club. So maybe this is all speculation. He spat the dummy out, and it's a maybe. And if he has to spat the dummy out, I don't know, Southside and me disagree on a lot of stuff, but if anybody doesn't want to be there, get rid. Southside.
Aye, you need to get rid of him if that's what he's... Listen, I heard the interview after it. Somebody sent me a thing saying Russell Martin said this, and I actually seen it eventually, and I listened to what he said. So I've listened to him, and he said he got injured in the warm-up. Now, he was out warming up at half-time, Ignaman, right? Because I watched him. So, did he get injured then, in the second half, when he was warming up, or was it the warm-up before the game started? That's what he didn't clarify, right? But he was kicking the ball about at half-time on the park. So, I would have taken it for what he said. If I was thinking about it, I thought, well, it must have been at half-time then. Then if he gets injured or he feels a tweak or whatever's wrong with him, then surely he should say to the physio or say to somebody, I've no feeling right, or even get it looked at or checked before, whatever. So I take it he's no said anything. And then, according to what Russell Martin said, they asked him to go in, and then he said, I've tweaked my quad. So that's what he said. He was asked the question and he gave the answer. But Igamani was out kicking the ball on the park at half time. So I don't know when he tweaked his quad muscle. I would take that it must have been at half time. Because if he'd done it before the game started, then he wouldn't have been out kicking the ball at half time, would he?
Oh, what did he go to warm up for? I know he didn't do a lot of warming up, but what did he do anything for if he thought he'd done his quad, or maybe he was getting at a goal? I don't know. Maybe we're speaking 2 and 2 together and coming up with 5. Maybe there's no story. Maybe he did hurt his leg. I don't know. But
is there any possibility there was a bid in? Only the insiders know. And they decided not to sit.
You don't listen to what I just told you.
I'm sure I heard you saying something like that, but I'm not really sure.
Leo, come on.
Oh, Leo, right? Okay, what you know? Right.
Yeah. We'll need to get you drugs tested. No, maybe we should. Maybe we should. Yeah, look, it's no a good look, and obviously the manager, if he's been honest, to try to be honest with the interviewer, people are saying he shouldn't be talking about the players and get into detail. Other people will speculate that he's making that the story to move away from the story being the performance. It doesn't matter what way you turn now, he's not going to win now, is it? He's not going to win at this moment in time. People will say he shouldn't have said it. Other people will say he should have done it, but why? Well, it's just that's the mess we're in already, Southside. It's mental. I've never known it so quick. Katrina, maybe.
Listen, he wasn't popular. People have been waiting to. He was not being universal the choice for the support. And listen, it wasn't really my choice either. But what am I? Who do I know? The board done the due diligence. They think he was the best man for the job. I don't know how many people they interviewed, but there's one or two on the list that I would have probably preferred. But they took him. And it's not working out at the moment, but it doesn't mean to say it will not work out. I just answered Teddy on the YouTube channel. He didn't sign Diamante either, and he didn't sign Cortez. So at the end of the day, sorry, I've lost my train of thought there.
At the end of the day, you've just got a new manager in.
We've got a new manager in the door, and it's taking time to get going. And the one thing we didn't have was time. We've not got much patience left. Most of our patience is burst, to be honest, right? And
some of my frustrations have came because I thought the fixtures, apart from Panathinaikos,
they were good. They were good fixtures in the league.
And even the draw we got at Pilsner could have been worse, mate. I think everything's been pretty. Bruges has been difficult. We knew that it was going to be a difficult tie because of where we were. But the fixtures domestically and after Panathinaikos have been reasonably kind to us. And I think that we don't see anything yet. If we were making chance after chance, we were just failing, and we were saying, we need a new centre forward, or we've been really unlucky. I get that, mate, but we're hardly making a chance. And I think it was Oldbear said it's turgid football to watch. The centre halves just touch the centre halves of the goalie when you're in possession just touch. There was one yesterday we made a corner and with the ball at the edge of the box that ends up back at Butland. We're then defending when we had a chance to score, but we keep possession. I think we had nearly 70% possession in the first half. Yeah, they had more touches in our box than their box and we had in theirs. Possession doesn't win games of football, Bridgeman.
100%. 100%. It won't win you. It gives you maybe make chances if you've got possession. But we obviously, don't have the midfielder that will probe and they will run right into them, and the people can come in after them or come inside them. These teams that we're playing them, they've got that 10-man defence down to a T, really. 2 lines of 5. So as you try to go through there, and they're getting away with the booting and bullying and blocking and all that. So it's very difficult and it's very brave. You've got to be very brave and really skillful. And that might be the bit that we're missing. This is real skillful. Somebody to run in there and try a wee 1-2 or just put a nice ball through. But we're running, and as you're running, it narrows in and you get crowded out. The amount of times we'll get crowded out is just quite incredible. But that's because we're not playing wide. And we're not playing wide for whatever reason. If we can play 2 wide players, and I mean really wide players, will stay out there and they'll put the ball in. Not necessarily a big high ball, but they'll put a ball on, let's say, drop it on the penalty spot and let them go and fight for it then. Sorry?
We've got the 2 inverted wingers who are left wingers right-footed and we're right wingers right-footed. So they come inside looking for the shots. And then the full-backs are running, Aaron's is running mostly inside, mate, where Ant-Man wants to go. And it's just crazy for me. Yeah, it's just crazy, the setup and everything. That's some of my frustrations, Southside. I'm watching the shape of that team, and some of it, I don't even know if you better players, more recruitment, some of the coaching. I'm watching corner kicks, throw-ins, goal kicks. Everything's poor. And we've had a pre-season in 9 games, and that's my concerns. if you change the personnel, I don't see how that's going to get better. I just don't. I think we're a badly coached team. We don't look fit. Yeah, we played the best football in Scotland, and we don't look fit. I just.
Well,
frustrations are.
Well, I know
I'm
you've got frustrations. So will Fox. Fox will have frustrations
I
if
know,
you don't.
because it's that
So
time of the evening.
yes, I'll let you do the. I'd like to hear the tune. Eh?
Sorry, mate. Let's have a tune.
I don't know if you can see just what the Rangers really mean to me. These last few years I've been afraid that we might drift away. So I've been telling old stories and singing songs, made me think about where we come from. That's the reason why I feel so very proud today. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Irish Stadium's calls me, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had. We won 9 in a row, and I'm still dreaming of Brian Landry and Trevor Stephen. Marvin Andrews said, keep believing. Davy Cooper on the wing. We remember Gaza with great affection, the day the helicopter changed direction. Jimmy Baxter, he was pure perfection. Super Ali scores again. Well, let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium's calls me, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
I believe that was all Bear there on guitar in that version, Southside.
Well, you think so? I just got a text from him, man. You've just sent him his bed. I'm not even rude what he texts me, but
I don't believe
it's no me to pick say tunes. I know I hope he's not went his bed yet. It's no me to pick say tunes, but I can't even say it out in there because there's a lot of sweary words in it and talking about the team and all that, and then you want to play that song and depress them even more. I'm not even going to it, man, but there's a lot of sweary words in it.
There's a lot of offs in it, is there?
I said it's a good song. See when the Bears are there and they're belting it out, it is tremendous. No, look, we were doing in Manchester and all that, and we were belting out Birmingham when you were there, if you remember. They've got a rendition for 9 minutes at Birmingham. It sounds good when the Bears are in full voice with that belting out, I must admit.
Aye. I don't mind it, mate. He's the only one I know, doesn't he? Like,
aye, he is, isn't he? I don't really, I've not heard anybody else say they don't like that one.
you know him. Yeah?
I know, but I've tried, but he's no for it still. Just gave up on it.
You say they're all Bears stubborn, is that what you're saying?
Saying he's stubborn.
Aye.
Aye.
We're a capital S, mate. We're a capital S.
Oh, aye. Big capital letters.
Aye. Right, okay. How do we improve Southside? What do we do? You know, who do we see? Right, so with no centre forward at the weekend, Dessers is injured. Rumours and speculation that he could be at the club as well. And by the way, if there's a decent offers for Dessers, his age and where he is in his contract, this time next year he's only got a year left. It makes perfect sense. You know, and Dessers will never be forgotten. Yeah, for a lot of reasons, Southside. So if that's the case, you move on. If there's a crazy big figure, man, we've got to take it, but we've got to be working hard to get it forward. And that might not be easy because it might not be in the last minute when all the dominoes, he signs him, they take him, and everything moves, mate. So you're in the hands of other people sometimes with these jigsaws, is it?
Aye, it's obviously a lot into a transfer. You know, sometimes you get into these bits where there's a lot of complications to get the deal done. But I know I've been linked to one or two until they come through the door and sign. And then I just usually wait till then. One or two I've heard, I think maybe I could maybe do a job, but at the end of the day, when you come, the pressure's on you, and it's a hard position to fill. And as much as we've slaughtered Dessers, he still managed to hit our 20 goals in a season, and his record wasn't too bad. And we can always go on about the ones you miss, but we've watched many a striker miss chances. So at the end of the day, he came, he could handle the club, he could handle the jersey, and he scored goals. And once we say if he leaves, it is a big hole there. If Ignaman goes as well, then whoever we bring in has got to hope that he's going to be hitting the 20 goal mark at least. And he's just coming in. We're only before league games gone, so you can still hit our 20 goals. And our Rangers jersey is a number 9. But we've been linked with a couple. I think Russell Martin mentioned that we'd had bids in and nothing's happened, and we've possibly had maybe 2 bids in. I think the way he talked about Dessers, he said he's told him what he wants to do, so I would imagine, but then he also said, well, he's at the right age, he's a good professional, he trains well, which would make me think that he maybe wants to leave if there's a club that he wants to go to. So between him and Ignaman, for what they scored last season, it's quite a lot of goals out your team. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to hope that the 2 wingers, midfielders, and then when we get a striker or 2 in, that they hit the ground running. But as it stands, we've got to create chances, Ox, for strikers. And in the 3 league games, no, we've not been creating anywhere near enough chances.
Listen, this is because obviously young boy Curtis has come on and scored the goal again at the weekend, mate. Why have we not game? Why have we went and signed a boy similar with Spurs who's got no experience, no physicality, doesn't understand? Well, he might a bit. I believe he knows a bit about my club, but he's not like Finlay. He's not our player. But you know a better just going with young Curtis. And because what we've watched, all right, he's only 2 cameos, a bit against Alloa, and he come on there in the second half against St Mirren. Mikey Moore's not an improvement so far than what young Finlay was doing. And Finlay seems to have this knack of scoring goals, mate. Help me out, Southside.
Aye, well, he always scored from the B team and that, and he's managed to score a few goals for the first team now. And that's what he seems to do. He's got a knack of getting into positions and scoring, and it was a good shot that he had that got as a goal at St Mirren. And he also scored, can't remember the last one, but previous to that he took some good finishes and scored some good goals. So at the end of the day, he's fearless. Panathinaikos, aye. He's fearless. He's got good technical ability, and I'd like to see him get more chances. Listen, Mikey Moore's at an advanced stage. He's been playing in the Premiership and stuff like that. He was playing in Europe for Tottenham, so although he's 17, he's got vast more experience than what Finlay Curtis has been exposed to. Finlay Curtis could probably be exposed to more, but then we've went and signed Gasman, who's more or less taking his position, and also Ant-Man, who are there at 24 years of age, that he's probably going to play more regularly than Finlay. So, what we're doing to Russell Martin going forward. Aye, I know, but you need to take time to settle in. Listen, I think you've got a caller in.
I know.
So
it's your Jim. Evening, Jim.
Oh, is it?
That's a lovely welcome. Good evening, lads. Ox, what did I tell you? Maybe last week, what did I say about this team? What was he going to do? And he done it on Sunday. Played without a striker.
Aye.
I said it the other week, and I could see it coming, mate. I said, he's going to do this. I mentioned it a few times on the show. Unbelievable. But the Masters have been down for a lot of time. I mean, then another goal at the weekend there. We're on the edge of their box. Breaking me, I think, maybe 7 men within the St Mirren area. And 2 passes later, the ball's in the back of your net. I honestly don't know what John Souttar's doing. I mean, he's pointing to the boy. I mean, you get Sherrick to a new fit team for doing what they've done. See in that position, that big boy's going to get close to him with Souttar 2 or 3 years back behind him. That's the ball goes where it's happening. I mean, that schoolboy defending, absolute criminal. But again, on the manager's case, you can't blame the manager for players having the inability who can't pass a ball to themselves 5 years between each other. You can't blame the manager for that.
I agree with that, mate. I agree with that. Some of the passing's been diabolical, and it isn't doing to the manager. But what I've also, and that's the simple passes when they're all next to each other. They're not bad at passing it between the 2 centre halves and the goalkeeper, but let's be honest.
Aye, well, maybe aye.
See, the thing is, Ox.
Yes, mate.
See, the thing is, Ox, he's right. It was Gasman at the edge of the box tried to play a ball.
That was a poor pass.
To Rothwell, and the boy just stuck his foot out. Then Raskin's sort of sleeping a bit in the midfield, because that boy knocks it into the midfield and Raskin's no next to him. He's off him, right? And then the boy just lumps the ball forward again, and then they're through and goal. And the Gasman, again, when we were attacking in the second half, he played a ball right to a St Mirren player, and they broke up the part, and the boy shot, and Buckland saved it right down beside him. Some of the passing for some of the players hasn't been good enough. When you watch them in their wee training videos, they all look good when they're all doing this wee passing, hanging with 2 in the middle and all that, playing the Toro and all that, and the boxes and everything. They look all right, but they know a lot of them aren't. It could be some of them might be feeling a bit of pressure. We've got young boys in the team. I mean, Gasman's come in, he's getting exposed to this pressure, he's got to win every week. It's early days. They're getting booed off the park the last 3 league games that they've played. So they're all young, and they're all trying to come in and work under what he's trying to do, and we're struggling now with making the passes crisp and doing what we're doing. We're looking all disjointed, wide open. We're not running faster and we're not running quicker like you said we would. So I think we need to get the ones out that aren't prepared to do the graft and the work and the simple things, and we need to get more players in to help the squad. Otherwise, if we don't get the right players out and there's players in there that aren't pulling their weight, then it isn't going to get any better. And what will happen is the manager will get the sack, because this is what normally happens. And then we have to go again when you might have to get rid of the nonsense that's in the dressing room. Players that aren't going to be on come the end of this transfer window. And if he knows the ones that he's got aren't on, then he can maybe put them on the sidelines, can't he?
Aye, all right. Listen, what's your take on it, Jim? And then when you're not speaking, put your phone on mute. What's your take on the whole thing, Jim?
The whole what?
And the whole thing?
The whole thing? Do you know what the sad thing is, that yesterday, I would have been raging and all the rest of it. They've just come to accept it. They're accepting it. And can I say something on the Egamani thing? I don't know if you're going to bring it up anymore, but you play football at a level. If you tell your quad, you're not running about kicking a ball. You're not running about or even kicking a ball with a quad injury.
No, mate. No. You're not even warming up, mate, with a quad.
I know you're not. No chance. You have no chance of doing it.
No, but there's a lot of muscle injuries. There's a lot of kid on in football, mate. It's not the first time, you know. Oh, I might have tweaked my hamstring. Hard to detect, mate.
But the quad one's a totally different one. You're not extending your leg to do anything with a quad injury because it's a tear right doing it.
No, I know, mate. I know. Listen, mate, it's not. Well, I've got a simple view in it. If he doesn't want to be there, get the right deal for your club and get him out the door, mate.
Right.
Yeah. I don't want any more pantomimes. Bridgeman, Jim, put your phone on mute.
Right, sorry, guys.
No, it's not right, mate. Just when you're not talking. On you go, Bridge.
Yeah, you were talking, following on from some of the discussions that we had about earlier. It's really difficult to think. The Egamani thing, my head's bouncing with that one. I just don't know what's going on. Is he pulling the wool or trying to pull the wool, or is it genuine? The manager knows it's okay. He's injured. Just leave it at that. I don't know. But I think the manager tends to blame. I think that anyway. I think this manager's got a tendency to blame the players for all the woes. And I'm not dead sure what it is. Obviously, you mentioned some poor passing. My God, young boy Cameron put that ball 20 yards behind the player who was trying to hit it to cross the pitch, straight out of the park. Diamondi, same thing, and it gets right through the whole team. You know, the ball's not getting the right weight, or it's got this, or it's too strong, all that nonsense. You know, we need to get these passing right. We're now in our league campaign, 3 games in, and we're showing worse for wear already. And I don't know why they're passing so poor. We can't take a throw in. As everybody knows, we can't take a throw in. It takes us 2 minutes to get the ball and actually try and do it. And then before you know it, it's he's throwing it long and it's never getting to a Rangers player. And it ends up in the opposition. And that's giving the ball away.
Somebody done one yesterday. I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Aaron's. He came and took the throw in and he threw it inside and threw it right to St Mirren. It might have been
absolutely right to the guy. That's exactly what I mean. You know, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. What the things that are going on just doesn't make any sense, and that's the kind of thing that worries me greatly. We've got good players. I've no doubt about it. Rangers have got good players in there, and it's just getting the good stuff out of them. And that young boy Curtis, for the last couple of games there, he's come out and he scored goals. He had 2 shots yesterday that were absolute dynamite. One, he got a goal at it, and the other one brought a fabulous save out for the keeper. And I think, well, here, we're looking for people to take shots, and there we've got a guy sitting on the bench all the time, and he comes on and he has a couple of shots, scores a goal. These are the kind of things you're looking for. Whether, in fact, we'd end up burning them out, because Rangers are quite well known for that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with certain parts of the team and the way they're playing and the players. We need to get a bit more strength in the team, or these players need to get a bit stronger and a bit wiser and don't let themselves be bullied. Or in fact, our team, the rest of our midfield players, get in there and sort it all out and make sure they're not going to beat us up again. Because that's all you need to do. You need to go in, team hand it and shove everybody out of the way, and then they'll start thinking twice. You're going to touch it. There's some bad tackles against us.
We don't seem to be. Obviously, we've took Tav at the team, and people have got their opinions on that, and I'm maybe not the night to discuss it. But John Souttar, I mean, John's a blocker and a plodder, and for me, he doesn't look like a leader, and he doesn't even look like an organiser. Now, it's difficult because you don't know what's been said or the talking on the football part. Because some guys do a lot of talking, and there's quiet guys are good talkers on the football part. I know that, yeah. And there's other guys that don't shut up. I know that and all, but listen, I don't know if that's the instructions and this square and how we're playing. And I mean, there's the first goal down to the centre halves. Yeah, not down to John Souttar, but you're the organiser. You're the guy in charge of how the back line sits on the park. Then we'll get the young Fernandez come in. It was an error for his. If he steps by, that guy's never run away from him. Never, because Fernandez is reasonably quick. Yeah, so he should be happy to go in a foot race with him. I thought he get intimidated. He grew into the game better. I thought he actually get better as the game went on. But he made that error. So we need an organiser back there, because Fernandez and Gigi, they're raw and they've not played a lot of football. I don't know if John's the man for that. Yeah. And also, he's out of contract. He's going to be out of contract. Are we going to go through this scenario again? Yeah. Or hang my hat, who somebody's going to be leaving the club. Southside, then Jim.
That's all right when he plays in the right. He has some no bad games, but I think we need better. You know, we do need better than John Souttar, to be honest. But whether Giga steps into that role, he's been playing the right-hand side. He's never went left. So he seems to be the favourite, and I don't think it does John Souttar any favours playing him on the left-hand side of your defence. I think we need, if he's not going to play Fernandez and see what he's got over a period of time, then we have to go and get somebody that is experienced in the left-hand side, a central defence, before the window shuts. I think it's pretty imperative that we do that. And probably somebody with a bit of experience. But if we sign 25, 26-year-old, doesn't matter, and maybe a bit more experience in that. I don't know, but I think that's an area we certainly need to address. I think we've done the left back. Obviously, Ridvan's away and Yefty's away, so we've not really got much cover in there. And I think if Mendy had passed his fitness, his medical, then I think that would have been a strengthening in the height and physicality of him at the time. But we've no managed to get that one done because of that. So we have to find somebody, I think, for the left-hand side, and we need to get strikers. And I think we need to try and get a player into that midfield. If we've not already got him already, we need to get somebody that's wanting to burst through by the strikers into the box. We need to get a player that's, I thought maybe Asgard, maybe when he gets a central position, might be that type of player. I don't know, but we need to get somebody that's willing to run by our striker as well into the box. I think we've got the wing.
That shape's outside, you're never going to get that. But the shape you're playing with a V in the midfield, and the two guys, let's say when you looked at the weekend there, when it was young Cameron and Rothwell, mate, were playing either side of Raskin, yeah. Now, I know the young Cameron, and he will always try and get in the box. He's got that knack, right? I can't think of Rothwell being in the box at all, mate. And also can't think he'll ever been back up in the defence neither, mate. But that game, he was in no man's land. No man's land. And it's been a constant theme. Raskin, Diamondi, Rothwell, whoever's played in that position, because you're actually playing in no man's land, mate. I don't get it, mate. I'm struggling with the shape of the team he's putting it. Yeah, I know I'm a purist and I look at tactics. We discuss it a lot, mate, off air. We talk about shapes and what you see, and when we're watching the game, yeah, and 90% we see the same thing, don't we? If we're honest, yeah. Yeah.
Aye.
But this time, I keep seeing when I'm looking, we're out of possession, we're in possession, we're full back, we're midfield player, and we're winger are all standing next to each other. It reminds me of primary school football, mate. And I don't see how they, for their positions and where they go and the runs they make and where they've been told to go, end up in the box and end up forward to the centre forward. I don't see how it works.
Well, technically we're meant to be playing, you're right, we'll call them number 8s because that's where they get called, innit? Technically we're playing the two number 8s further up the park. So when the wingers get the ball, there shouldn't be a problem with the two number 8s, either one hitting the box and one hitting the edge of the box. Your striker should be in the box, your other winger should be coming in for the wing, coming in into the back. So you should have a lot more players in that area and about. Your left side, your other number 8, one of them will hit the box like Lyle Cameron did when the Gasman down the wing and he played it down to the left back who crossed the ball in. tell Asgard was in there and Cameron came in behind him because he's went into the box to receive the ball and he was unlucky to put it out of the bar. That's what I want him to do. When we're going wide, we want him in the box. So he's got in the box yesterday, arrived in the box, but we weren't doing it enough. But technically, when the balls are wide or whatever, it's up to the striker. We should have the 2 number 8s. They should be running up towards the striker, either run by him, receive the ball, and take it on, you would think, because they're pushing up high when we've got the ball. So we should be getting them on it, and they should be running by strikers, or else taking the ball and going and committing players. And we're not seeing it now, but he's been mashing it about. We've had Kieran Dell in the team, we've had him out of the team, we've had Asgard back in the team now, then we've had him at striker, then we bring him back in. Mikey Moore's trying to fit in the team. And you've got the 2 wingers. You can't tell me the 2 wingers have not got ability or pace. So it's about involving them in the game, and we've got to get the midfield right. I just don't think the midfield's right. It's just no ticking the way it should.
Jim?
Sorry, guys. You're right. The midfield, i.e. Rothwell, Diamondi and Raskin, I think they're getting exposed big time by the way he's trying to set that up. I mean, you're seeing there at the goal, Raskin was the man getting exposed in the middle. But again, going back to their goal, the boy Gasman, again, he's trying to play the ball back to Rothwell on the edge of the box and it gets intercepted. And another thing on the John Souttar thing, John Souttar nearly settled the draws again in the last minute with Golge's free header. John Souttar was the man meant to be picking him up. Guy gets the free header in and Souttar turns round, and as usual as being Souttar, starts screaming at everybody as if it's everybody's fault. John Souttar's a big issue in that team for me, I know.
It's just, I'm not saying everything's down to John Souttar, but I don't think he's a natural leader. It doesn't strike me having that kind of personality, you know. That's the impression I get. I don't know John, so I'm just saying the impression I get. I mean, you hear him getting interviewed, he comes across as a steady lad. He doesn't come across as a guy that's your natural. You know, I can understand by his, he's experienced and he gets the armband. I mean, so that tells you that obviously Nico was the vice captain when he took over for Tar. That's when his bomb exploded, and then so we've took that off him as well. So. I don't just see him as a leader, Bridge,
Well, if you're talking about John Souttar, the John Souttar I know, and I think Jim's absolutely 100% right. I think we're saying about John Souttar. I hold my hands up. I don't want to say a bad-mouthy guy. I never wanted him to Ibrox, but he's there, and I'll support him when he's in the team. But my goodness gracious, it doesn't cause the team some problems. Some very poor play, particularly passing, releasing the ball. Supposed to be trying to find a space through. That some of the best passers of the ball in the world couldn't get through, and he's doing it for no reason whatsoever, other than he wants to look good. But he's not doing it. He's not doing it. And like Jim's right. As a header coming, a big centre half's got to get that ball away. You get another big centre half coming in, and you've got to take him out. Simple. Your ball. It's got to be your ball. No, didn't get that. And he does that a number of times. But one thing he is good at, he does block. He does a lot of blocks, which centre halves have got to do. But a lot of the times he causes a lot of problems himself, simply by, it's not his own fault. He's not the fastest person in the whole world, so the other teams know that. So they got stick a ball down the side of him with a decent bit of pace. That big fella was past him like the wind, just like the wind, gone. And no matter what he did, he tried to come in. And you saw yesterday, he tried to body check a guy, or shoulder charge him, should I say, shoulder to shoulder. Ended up the guy put him in his back, put him in his arse. That's the big difficulty you've got. Nobody should be able to put John Souttar on his arse. I'm not before, and forgive me for swearing. It shouldn't be
just timing, Bridge. You know what it's like if you time it right and you've made that move, mate. It's a fraction of a second. Lyle Cameron will be able to put Fernandez if he gets it right, mate, by the timing.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, there was two guys roughly the same height and probably close to the same weight, and the guy beat him to it. Simple as that. And you know, it's quite embarrassing actually. But I'm not going to. I don't want to complain too much about him, but I don't think he's a captain. I've said this for a couple of weeks now. I don't see him as a captain. I don't know if Rangers are ever going to get a captain now, because Tav, much as I criticised Tav simply because he's getting older and slower, he still pops up with the goals, scores penalties, you name it. He comes on, he strengthens. If you don't ask him too much of him, he can't run up a part and back doing it again for 90 minutes. He can run up and do it again for 15 minutes maybe. And that's what he did. Yesterday, I thought he was quite good yesterday when he came on. The big difficulty, of course, is concentration.
Improve our team, mate.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's. I mean, people see the game differently. Murray and Albert thinks that Aaron's is a move on, and Tav, I don't see it. Listen, I think it was time, and we had to get an improvement in for Tav, and we've tried to bring somebody in. And at the moment, it ain't an improvement. Yeah, stranger things have happened, of course. And you go back to Matt Catley when he came in at first, everybody what was signed here. 3 years later, they didn't think that. But I know the boy's on loan, but at the moment, he's no improvement, in my opinion. Southside.
Aye. If you're looking at Tav, look, nobody expected Tav to be here. Tav, in everybody's eyes, everybody was screaming he's the next one to get the door. St Mirren were probably tiring later on in the game. He comes on, he was organising, he was telling players where to go. You could see that. He was giving a lot of instruction out. He got on the ball, he got us up the park. He had done more in the game. Obviously, when he came on, he influenced it a bit. But at the end of the day, Tav probably shouldn't even be on the park in a lot of the support size anyway. Aaron's was the guy. It was meant to be the upgrade in time. He's going to be more fitter. He should be quicker. And at the end of the day, we can't afford to buy the boy because the boy's valued roughly at the time they were saying £20 million or whatever because he was a Premiership player with Bournemouth. So whether they know he's been played out of position and he's not settled in, the defence is struggling, we're leaking goals, we're not looking comfortable at times. And you seen him yesterday, he had the ball and he tried to play it forward and there was nobody on and he had to play it back and he flung his hands up in there as if to go, how he's not moving. So it's no clicking right in the past and people aren't being where they should be and we're looking really disjointed as Paul spoke about now. So until that all settles down and we can start to try and play as a unit and see the passing get better, but at the moment we're just seeing a patch here or a patch there for 5 minutes. We're not even started games at the start and come out the traps flying really. It's another thing. We've witnessed it under Clement, we witnessed it under Barry, we witnessed it under many managers for the first half performances when we come out and start a game is poor. And it's been the same since the start of the season. We've not played a decent 90 minutes at all. Don't know what you think, Bridge.
Is that for me? Sorry, buddy. I do apologise. You caught me out there. I was taking a wee drink of coffee. I do apologise. Give me an idea what the last bit you were speaking about.
I was just saying that we've not started the game at all in the first half. We've been slow at the traps and that. We've had poor first half and we've sort of been better second half as the managers alluded to in certain games and all.
Yeah. Hey, look, sorry?
No, on you go. Sorry.
I was just going to say, you're absolutely right. We're very, very poor at starting. It's as if the players are still waiting and the manager's telling them what to do, and the game starts and the way the teams are going to play against us this year, then they're like a whirlwind. They're running in, smashing into people and all that stuff's going on in the park. And our players are still half asleep. And before you know it, there's a shot at goal or a poor pass by us, lose possession and panic sets in. and you're getting all that, and you're right. Sometimes it's a half time before we even get a shot at goal, and we're invariably we're behind anyway. You know, I think the one we went 1-0 up was that against Dundee, and we went 1-0 up, and for God's sake, do we not lose a goal? Just terrible. So we're very weak, and big chunks of our game. It's very weak, and we need to get the players on top. Get them on top of their game. They've got to be on top of their game. Because if you get on top of your game, you'll be able to play football. If you can't get on top of your game, you'll struggle.
Here, mate. Here. Aye. Jim, did you manage to get a ticket for yesterday, mate? Did you manage to get a ticket for yesterday?
No, I did not.
Okay, mate.
What I'm going to ask is see the team. I know that they're saying they're not starting. Why is it waiting? Why are they waiting until in the face of adversity before they actually start playing? The Motherwell game, Motherwell scored, and it was like Rangers flicked a switch, and they missed 2 half decent chances. Dundee, who got down to 10 men, could have won the game. Could have probably won 2 of the games. Then yesterday, in the face of adversity again, within the last 20 minutes from the score, we probably could have won it. Probably should have won it. Why is it waiting? Southside, see the Blues game, and I noticed it when they came back out. I sat at the back of the Copeland, and I noticed it when they came back out at half time. They can all group together, just at the centre circle, and the fingers were getting pointed left, right, and centre between that group. Do you think that group of players are taking it upon themselves to do what they want near the end of the games when they know it's not going well, and his tactics are just going out the window? That's my opinion, and I think that's what I'm seeing in that group.
Southside.
I think there is players in there that probably want to leave or maybe no take to him, and it's like anything, players don't start playing and then they maybe think, well, I'm not going to get a game under him. He's probably told a lot of them. Like you said, he had discussions and said he'll not be part of my plans. So, but you're having to rely on some of them because they're still there and they should play for the club.
Was that naive then? Was that naive?
No, maybe one or two players that we thought were getting in the door. Maybe like I think Connor Cody was one that I think we wanted to sign. I think he wanted to sign him, and for whatever reason he never came in. There might have been one or two others that he might have thought was coming. Well, Mendy was one I think he thought was coming, and they failed a medical apparently. So if that's the case, then obviously he's not made it. But there might be somebody else that we thought were bringing in and it's fell through at the last minute. No privy to that, but it could have been. But at the end of the day, he's going to come in, he's going to lay his stall. If you're not going to be part of his plans, you'll not be part of his plans. All managers do it. They'll come in and say to players, you're not going to be in my squad or you're not going to play for me. But maybe the player sticks about and he has to be asked to play. It might come through injury or it might be a development where he plays well in training. Manager has a talk down the line and goes, well, do you know what? Maybe I was a bit naive and maybe gives him a chance. But there would have been a number of players I would have imagined that we spoke about, and I think a lot of you would have probably agreed with it, that the ones had to go. So we are where we are now, and hopefully Thelwell and whoever else will get their finger out, and if there's players there that we need to get, then they get it out of the line and get them in the door. And the ones that aren't there now and haven't been playing in these squads, if it comes down to Bizrami, as we've talked about, or even Cortez not even making a squad now, I don't know. But players like they two, Matondo, we can just keep in the back burner. I think he'll still be there anyway. I just don't know how you get rid of him. But other ones have started to move, like Ridvan, and obviously Jeffrey was a bit of a surprise, I think, for a lot of people that he left. But Diamandi, Raskin, Tav, Butland, Souttar, Danilo, any one of them, I wouldn't be fussed if any of them went, or if they leave, to be honest. And if we can fill in with other players that we should be able to do, if we can get them out the door, if that's the case, then fine. If the mentality for them is dragging the rest of the new team down and their mentality is not right, then they need to go. Can you have bad mentality in your dressing room? Manager needs to have people he can trust. And if any of them stay, I'm not saying they're all bad attitudes, they might not be, but looking at it, if any of them get bids and they're decent, I think we'll sell them. And I think we'll put fresher players back into the squad that will follow the manager's instructions if some of the players aren't.
Well,
And that's just my opinion.
You're anticipating that the next week's going to be a bit mental then?
No, 100%. I'll obviously fling Ignaman and Dessers because I think they two will go on all. And I think they two going is taking a big chunk of goals. But listen, if bids come in and they're decent, I think the club will take it. We need to get a new mentality. He has to have players he can trust. And all the players aren't his. And he'll want to recycle these players. And most people wouldn't too fussed at the start of the season when we all talked about when we get rid of Butland. Everybody says if the money's 5 million, 8 million, 4 million, whatever, we'll take it. But he's still here. Tav, everybody wanted out the door. Danilo was third choice striker. Most people would be happy to get money back for him.
Fox, didn't he?
Diamande, aye, sorry, apart from Foxy boy, but Diamande, he's not cutting him. He's not cutting it now. So I don't think anybody would be too fussed if he went out the door. Raskin's probably the fans' favourite, innit? He's the man, isn't he? But I don't know. If bid comes in and it's good money for him, then he goes. And we've just got to get the right players in. He needs to build his own team. He's got to get the players in to have his own team. Otherwise, we're just back to the spirals of Clement, Gio and everybody else that had other people's players down tools for them all, and they all get the sack. And that's what happens.
Well, if 5 or 6 go to the door, mate, and he brings in 8, he's got his own squad, mate. Yeah, I mean, that's a rapid turnover. Jim, then Bridge.
Right, what happens if he brings in another 5 or 6 and as we're saying, some of us are saying they know that they're weak and they can't carry the burden in that jumper, so what do we do? I know you're talking about, Barry, I 100% agree with you, i.e. with the Diamandis and all the other mobs who've been there for the last 2 or 3 years. I don't think any is what I've said it here. If any of them hit, they put a Rangers jersey on their back. I think the big worry now is looking at he's setting up his tactics and how some of these boys have reacted. Again, probably because of the way the crowd's reacting as well. What happens if they're just as weak, Southside? Because there's a possibility after the next couple of games, we're sitting, no a kick in the arse after the bottom of the league, mate.
Aye, I get that, Jim, and I know, like, they're young players, like, all right, Mikey Moore played at Tottenham, right, but you get the atmosphere. He's not going to get booed off at Tottenham every week, right? You've got to, the intensity up here is going to be far different, and it should make him into a better player in time. But, and Gasman's the same, Ant-Man, I get it. Rothwell should have enough experience. He's old enough. He was at Leeds last year fighting for a championship, and by all accounts, was pretty integral into most of their games that he played.
Go on mute, Jim.
So, aye, we've got that, Jim, and we've got to buy other players in that you're hoping that will carry the burden of having the jersey and no being frightened to take the ball because we're not playing well and the crowd's on their back. It will not help them, but I understand it, it's frustration. You know, it's not good enough what we're watching, to be frank, you know, but I just think we still need to add a lot more players to this squad, and he has to start to show us really quickly an improvement in what we're watching. 100%. We need to start to see better than what we're getting now. Far better. But it's...
Bridgeman.
I think Southside, listen to Southside there, it's trailing off there. But what we're getting now isn't good enough. And anybody's eyes that watches the game, not good enough. And I'm afraid the manager has got a huge task in his hands. If he's going to do anything for Rangers this season, they're just seriously, it's going to be a miracle. It's going to be a miracle. I sincerely believe we'll be lucky. We've not got any pace in our team, and we haven't picked up from the start of the games. We haven't picked up properly, and I don't know whether it's the manager or the players themselves. I'll say it again. We need to make massive improvements in the way we play football, and allow people to play We need a centre forward that's going to score goals. We need to be able to service that centre forward. We need wingers that can control the ball, push the ball in, come inside and give the guys the ball and let them do it. We can't spend half the game tip-tapping the ball between the two centre halves and the goalkeeper. That can't happen. It's got to stop. We've got to be up the park with the players, and the players get the ball and have to do what they need to do. The manager's got to do it. We can't afford any more. In my opinion, you can't afford any more. You're going to cause riots in the streets of Glasgow. Riots.
Quick question for you, Southside. See the end of the game yesterday? You know, everybody's frustrated, and obviously there's a bit of noise. Do you think it was directed at the coaching staff or the players, mate, or a mixture of both?
It's both, innit? It's both, probably. The manager's responsible for results, and the players are responsible to get the win. And they never done enough yesterday. Watching it, so it's just no good enough, folks. It's disappointing. I thought we'd have. I know it takes time to work a system and what you're trying to do. I get all that, and I get the fact that maybe some of the players can't do exactly what he's wanting. I don't think Diamande, for instance, this is just my opinion, but I'm not a football manager. I don't think playing Diamande on the right-hand side of the midfield helped at all. But for whatever reason, that's what he was doing. For me, Diamande's better on the left-hand side, but I think he's got limitations at times, and I don't know if he can do the quick stuff that he might want. He's all right in certain situations, but he's not always got control of the ball when he's running with it. He seems to kick it a bit forward in that, and his touch sometimes no good. But he's not played at all in that midfield. And looking at it, I thought our strongest midfield would be, obviously, you'd be bringing in Rothwell, you're playing Raskin, and you're playing Diamande. I think they would have been most people's first three on the team sheet, and it was to a point. And then obviously Rothwell's not been finishing games and playing well, really. Diamande's been missing for big parts of the games for a long time since Russell Martin came in, and Raskin's the only one that's sort of been doing all right, but he wasn't doing it. He was a lot better, I thought, last season when he maybe was less restricted. I don't know, because of the system we're playing. He's to maybe come short and play the link passing and whatnot, but I think he was more effective last season when he was just running about, breaking up defences, getting on the ball and all that, and a different style of play. So I just think the midfield isn't functioning, and that's the heartbeat of your team. It's got to function to create chances and also block things coming against you, and they know that's no right, Oxen. He has to get a mix in there that's right.
Yeah, I think you need some physicality in there, mate. I really do. I think the word used was weak. I think the recruitment, we need some physicality in there. We need a ball winner. I actually thought Rothwell was coming in to do that job, but I've been disappointed at the moment. As I say, stranger things have happened. I don't see it, but at the moment, you never know. Jim?
I think we're all kind of taken aback for what we're seeing, because I think we thought there was going to get better results in what's actually happened. As he says, the start of the season's been kind to us, but on the football part's not been very kind to us. And again, it's 3 games we possibly could have won, even though we're only sitting here with 3 points. I know we've been dreadful in times, but we could have won the 3 games. And the only game I would say we looked as if we probably, I think it was probably the Bruges game at Ibrox. But again, I wasn't surprised with Bruges, because I've seen enough for them in the pre-season friendly, and they produced the exact same as what they'd done to us in early doors in the pre-season friendly. And again, the manager should have known better.
Is that the problem, mate? If we play this set-up all the time and you play like robots, mate, and everybody knows where you go, they all know where to play the ball, mate. Yeah. So,
you heard the Bruges manager said that the other day. He knew where he was going to get the spaces. He knew, come on. He's been schooled. He's been schooled with that Presley the other weekend as well.
He knew we had a high line at set pieces and knew where to put the ball in it. Yeah, and they'll all know just to punt the ball up the park. Because let's be honest, the strongest part of Big Jack's game isn't coming out and kicking the ball, is it, or making the judgment on the sweeper keeper. That he isn't, and he'll never look comfortable at that. You know, and I think I'm being fair there when I say that against the big man, who's been my best player this season. Southside then, Bridge.
I had easy heart palpitations, man, when the ball comes to his feet. You know, he gets away with it, I think, more than he's good. It isn't his part of his game. He's more or less a short stopper, and for the height, he should be commanding his 6-yard bolts at crossbars. To be honest, he should be commanding that area. But it's the way we play, Ox, and we've got him in the goals now, unless we get rid of him and he leaves or something like that, and we get a goalkeeper in that's going to be good at what he wants him to do. It's the way it's going to be. We just have to get players that will be able to be good enough in the system. I know we're saying we can set up and it looks like that and you can see it, but I think when Tel Asgar gets up to speed, I think he'll be a good inventive player. I think he'll take players on and I think he'll commit. And I'm hoping he'll get a good returns and goals. It's about getting regular game time and settling in. The team need a bit of confidence. We need to get wins. No, we need to get a bit of confidence. It's all right saying you play patterns of play, but you're playing on the park and you've got to work it out on the park. And Bruges, I think, played the way I think Russell Martin wants us to play. But they've been a drilled unit for a couple of seasons. They've got decent players, good quality players. And I think that's the way. I mean, I remember watching that game last week. The boy took a shy, and the boy didn't even look across to the Govan-Stone. He let the ball bounce, and he just fired it right across to the left back because he knew he was going to be there. You know, I was like, well, he didn't even look. You know, he just fired it right across because he knew he was going to be there. And they played patterns of play against us, and that's the way I think he thinks that's the way he's going to have us playing that type of football. To be honest. But you need to have the quality of players to be able to play that system and be drilled at it. And we're nowhere near drilled at it yet. We might be doing patterns and that on the training field, but in actual game time, it's not looking good at the moment, and it has to get a lot better. Otherwise, we're going to be suffering like we have been, by creating chances and gaining up chances and being wide open at times. So until we get physicality, I agree with you, I think we need that as well into the team. We're just going to have to hope that the players just get the passing quicker, and we might see something in time, but we've got heavy games coming up and there's no room for error, mate.
Yeah. Bridge?
Well said, Southside. That was absolutely right. A lot of heavy games coming up, and we don't know if we look ready for any of these games, to be perfectly honest with you. However, stranger things, you know. The way our team have played anyway, we're going to go out on Wednesday and we'll just see just what happens. But they absolutely wiped us off the pitch for the first 15 minutes at Ibrox, and I dare say they're going to do the same maybe for 30 minutes over there. So we need to be up at our best for it, and the players need to be the right players on the park. I think we've done that in Europe. I think we've been very fortunate at times in Europe, but I think we're like a team that we seem to be able to play in Europe, and let's hope we can do it again. But we can't have the same first 15 minutes as we had against Bruges there. We can't play like that again. Otherwise, we're going to get absolutely murdered. They're a really good team, very technically gifted, and they've got a great pace in their teams. And I see these teams, and Bruges are not the best team in the world, but they've got great pace in it and marvellous passes. Just as Southside said there, fantastic passes. And out to either wing back. Wing backs are up the top, you know. Yeah?
They're a team, mate. Yeah.
Absolutely. Don't get me, they're not the best team, but they're a really good team.
No, but
and we need to be something like that.
Aye. Look, you always go with a wee bit of hope, Jim, didn't you? You know, you're thinking if you can get the first goal, you put the doubt, but that's your heart now in your head, if I'm being honest, yeah. The way we're playing at the moment, can't see us taking too many goals off of Bruges, but you never know. Never know.
Actually, you're sticking your head, you're going like that. Keep it tight. Aye. Can we keep it tight?
No, I don't know if we can, mate. I don't know if we can.
I know.
We didn't give up too many chances yesterday, mate. We didn't play well in the first half. We got better as the game went on, but we didn't give up too many chances. But the problem is we didn't create a lot.
But we missed chances, as you said there about the wee guy. He must be Dundee. And I thought the other one missed an absolute sitter. The boy face, what do we call him?
Asgard.
I thought that was an absolute sitter.
He missed hit it completely. Just put it in the net. Toe poke it in the net.
2 years.
I imagine if that had been Dessers, you know. I get your point. We go with hope on Wednesday night. Always do. You never know, Southside. Stranger things have happened. I think it's highly unlikely, but you never know, mate.
Well, it's highly unlikely that we're going to go and beat Real Betis, isn't it?
Are you heading there, Southside?
Aye.
Safe journeys, mate. Safe journey, big man.
Cheers. Aye, I'll always go with hope and expectation, mate.
You'll get to Brugian back quicker than you go to Greenock back.
Aye, that's a possibility, big man.
But did they down there steal your wheels?
Aye, fuck, I came back up the road with 2 wheels, I think. Oh my God.
Listen, it's another game in Europe. We know what the prize is if we can turn it round. On our form at the moment, it's not looking good, but do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's a game of football, and sometimes when you don't expect something that comes along and just smacks you right in the face, and that's what you want. If we could qualify, it'd be tremendous, but we need to keep the door shut. They're a good team, they're quality, they've got a good striker, they play good football. We can't let them, we've got to come out and bail on it for the start, and that's something that we've not been in any of the games so far, really. So we're looking for a big change in the attitude, mentality, and hopefully, listen, if we score the first goal, it'll give us a boost. If we can do that, then you never know what's at the end of the rainbow for you, mate. But if no, well, we're in the Europa League, and we'll have to make a fist of that when we get there. But up until now, we're still in it. We might not be in it very much, but we can have a go, mate, and hopefully we'll have a go, and hopefully we'll get a result. I'm sure the supporter there will be loud and proud as always, and you'll hear us. So looking forward to it, mate.
You think they'll sing Ibrox Sonia for Albert?
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will.
I love you.
Aye. So, as always, mate, you go with hope and expectation, and we'll see what happens at the end of it.
Yeah. Last word for your good self, Jim.
I'm just through this Edinburgh picking up my daughter. She just came back to Coldplay, so I'm going to cut you off here. I'll be back on during the week if you don't mind.
Speak to you later, mate.
Ain't any bother, guys. Okay, Southside, enjoy yourself, mate.
Cheers, bud.
I'll see you after. See you later, lads. Good night. See you later, Albert.
Yes. Last word for your good self, Southside.
Aye, thanks for having us on. It was good to be on the night, and good to be on with the bridge man, the legend as always. And it's a good night, mate, as always. And thank all the troops on YouTube channel for tuning in and participating in the show. Everybody else out there, Facebook and Twitter, and everybody else that listened in. Hope you enjoyed it. So thanks for having us on, and I'll speak to you soon.
Always, mate. Always. Listen, last man for the legend that is the bridge. Last word, sorry, last man. Last word.
Last man, right enough. Thanks very much for the night.
You would have took a book, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my job. Marvellous night, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do apologise to some of the viewers and listeners that I get to moan a bit, so I'm not taking any of it back, but I do apologise for boring people with it. Can I just say to yourself, Oxford, thank you very much, and Southside, thanks for carrying me through it, and to the techie boys in the background, big shout out, and to all the Rangers fans that are listening in to this wee programme here, our programme, Rangers Radio. Huge game coming up Wednesday. Huge game, massive, biggest game of the season for many a season, truth be told. And they've got a mountain to climb, huge mountain. So everybody, please keep it going for the Rangers. And I'm going for a 1-0 and then going to multiply it by 3. So I'm going for a 3-0 to the Rangers. Go for it. I know, you think I'm mental, but it's the truth.
No, I just never met anybody else said that, but you There you go. Bridge match for a 3-0. Listen, can I thank Jim for joining us? Of course, Southside and Bridgeford doing the show in these difficult times. It's no easy because we're all suffering a bit with the form of our team. But thanks to the two boys for doing the show and Jim for joining us. Thanks to Fox and All School Boy for doing the technicals and everybody for listening. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. Thanks for listening. Take it away, All School Boy.